You know what? I haven't even tried to iron or like steam these items or anything because I feel like it's so sad. I feel like they don't even deserve my love because they have disappointed me. Welcome back. Today we are talking about some of the, I don't want to call them the top items, they are the bottom items, they are the terrible items. Here are some of the items that I have purchased that I regret buying. Let's go. Anyway, let's start with the classic white shirt, okay? This is actually a pretty nice piece from Everlane. You hear everybody talking about these. You have to have a classic white shirt in your collection, blah, 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 blah. Guess what, guys? You don't. You don't need a classic white shirt, especially not if it's not your style. The thing about this shirt in particular is that it reminds me so keenly of my school uniform. It's just something that reminds me of all those years that I did not get to express myself with my clothing. It's something that just reminds me of having to wear the same thing again and again, day in and day out. And don't get me wrong, I love a style uniform, and I have a video on my channel about how to curate your own personal style uniform. But yeah, this is not it, and this would not be one of the items that I would personally choose. So what I would choose instead of this item is something that's quite a bit more feminine. This particular shirt has a pretty kind of like flowy, light quality to it. I think something in the same kind of weight family like this would definitely work, but maybe with a bit more, you know, feminine details, some ruffles, maybe a rounder collar or some broderie anglaise or something like that. For some reason, I thought that whenever I bought that, I was going to just, you know, slip into my minimal girl, you know, classic, like have my life together era, but it just didn't work, and it just makes me feel really uncomfortable and kind of stuffy when I wear it. And so for that reason, I do regret buying that purchase. Having said that, even though I do regret buying all of these clothing pieces, they have all taught me something about my own preferences, something about how I'm going to shop going forward. I don't know, there's a saying, you win or you learn, and I think that's so true. So even if you've made a purchase that you're not wearing or it isn't working out for some reason, at least we can learn something from it. Quick battery change, and we're back. Item number 2 is this pair of tailored shorts. I saw somebody with a completely different style to mine styling on her channel all the time, and I got absolutely influenced to try out a pair for my wardrobe. I was convinced that I would somehow be able to make them work. They're this high-waisted kind of like mid-thigh length. Even though you feel like that might be a classic, I actually think it just does not suit my personal body shape nor my personal style very well. I'm somebody who lives a very, you know, casual lifestyle. I don't live in a city, I live in a small town. And I just have a very casual kind of quite disheveled personality. So it doesn't always suit me to be wearing clothes that need to look crisp or that look well on somebody who has a very clean, minimal, kind of tailored, you know, suiting kind of vibe to their look. So instead of making me feel like put together and elegant, they just made me feel kind of somehow more frumpy because they didn't really fit me. They didn't really fit my personality. I was trying to fit myself to the clothes. So it really goes to show that it's not just pieces that are bad quality. You could have like very beautiful quality clothes that you just can't make work for you. And it might just simply be because they're not a perfect fit for you and your personality, for your lifestyle. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. You can send them on their way and somebody else will love them. And in the meantime, we just learn something new about ourselves, hopefully, and won't make the same mistake again. I'd love to know down in the comments below, what is something that you have bought recently or in the past that you regret buying and why? Because it's so helpful to have this information on hand. And I'm just curious, I'm just nosy to know as well. So let me know what's something that you've bought recently that you regret and why. The third item, you guys are going to laugh at me for this one. The third item is actually not so much an item in particular, but sort of more like a realm of items, shall we say. I used to shop primarily for this, a jersey, t-shirt, cotton, or even worse, cotton blend. And I was always really frustrated with my outfits, and I feel like it's because everything was just this kind of shapeless lump. I mean, the quality, first of all, is really not there in a garment like this, especially if you're buying the cheapest quality, like I used to do. And I think that's another huge reason why I was disappointed with my style, disappointed with my clothes, was because I just wasn't aware that there was the next level of quality that I could access even in my basic pieces. I thought that my basic pieces all had to be like the cheapest that you could buy, if you know what I mean. So things like this with like the neckline, it gets misshapen so easily. The stitches start coming undone and you end up with loose threads everywhere. I mean, they end up getting holes in them. The seams twist at the side. And to make matters worse, this was making up the vast majority of the clothes that I owned, and I somehow could not stop myself from buying more, which is absolutely bizarre whenever I think back to my past behavior. But I just never stopped to think, like, is there something else out there for me? And yes, there is. There is something else out there, and that is what I'm reaching for more so nowadays. I definitely had more of like, I don't want to say like a poverty mindset, but like more of a scarcity mindset probably, where I kind of just wanted to make my money stretch as far as it could and buy as many pieces as possible for as little as possible. And now I've completely switched to the other way of thinking, where I want fewer things but better quality things. And yeah, I think that has just been standing me in such good stead. Even though I still am casual in my lifestyle, I'm still casual in my dressing most of the time, the pieces that I'm choosing are still on the better end of the scale of quality. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a super high price point, but of a sturdy fabric and with, you know, reinforced seams, and especially around the neckline with things that aren't going to pucker, aren't going to look misshapen after a wash or two. And you know what, even within that, there's still been times that I've been stung by brands that I expected to have higher quality, and then after I've worn them and washed them once or twice, they start, you know, showing wear or showing pilling on the fabric, and it's just so disappointing. You can do the best that you can, but you can't get it perfect every single time, unfortunately. Moving on to another piece. This is something that you know what, I'm still kind of on the fence about this, but I'm going to call it a regret purchase because it kind of ticks a lot of the boxes of the no-nos on my list of like what not to do when shopping. So let me tell you a story about this one. It's something that I purchased at an op shop. So it was obviously very inexpensive, and the blend is like cashmere merino or maybe angora and then some sort of synthetic in there as well. And the reason why I bought this is because it's so snuggy, it's so soft, the fabric feels really beautiful. But the thing is that the shape is horrendous. It's very oversized. It's like a men's medium or maybe even it's a men's large. It's a men's large, so it's quite large on me. And even though I really love the feel of the fabric and I quite like the print as well, the actual print whenever I put it on me, it's just not quite the right color to make me glow. It kind of drains me a little bit. I feel like I was just really got carried away, and kind of like you're in an op shop and you're like, I'm never going to find this piece again, and you kind of have your blinkers on, you haven't found anything good for the day, and then you suddenly find something that's like halfway decent. And yeah, I've wasted dollars here and dollars there being in that exact same mindset of like, you just get it kind of like just in case. And now that I actually have it in my life, it's cozy, but it does not make me feel my best even as loungewear. I'm really changing my mind about loungewear and, you know, choosing pieces that make you feel your best even when you're at home. I do want to be able to wear whatever I want and feel relaxed, but I don't want to feel kind of slobby or frumpy all the time when I'm at home. This is one of those pieces that just, every time I put it on, I just kind of take it off again. I feel like I can't find a way to style it that I actually enjoy wearing it. When in doubt, leave it out. Like if you even have a modicum of doubt about, I could make it work. Maybe this is a nice piece. It's probably going to be a no from you in the future. You're going to reach for your other more favorite pieces. If you're not 100% sure, then it's a no and just leave it behind. Thank you for your teaching, my friend. On to the next piece. All right, and then going to the other end of the spectrum, this is something that I bought while I was on holiday in Australia. This is from Witchery, and it is a wool, merino wool and lyocell blend long sleeve top. I was looking for a piece exactly like this, and I was so thrilled to find it that I was willing to pay whatever it was, like it was probably like $100 Australian or maybe just under that for this one top. I don't know what I was thinking, but there you go. You know, here I am bearing my shame in front of the whole world. I cannot believe that I bought this top, and I'll tell you why. It washes terribly. It washes so terribly. Oh my gosh, you guys. And that's not always something that's really obvious to know when you're first looking at a garment. It might come across as something that's easy care, and then you go to wash it and you realize, no, it's horrendous. This cannot be tumble dried. Obviously, a lot of things cannot, that's fine, but nor can it be hung to dry because of the wool content in it. So it has to be like wrung out and then lain flat to dry. And normally I would be fine with doing that because I do have cashmere pieces, you know, I'm happy to do that with, and they dry really quickly. But this does not. It doesn't dry quickly. It just lies there and stinks because it's staying wet for so long, and it doesn't dry. And I have had to wash this multiple times sometimes in order to get it, like get the smell out of it, and then try washing it again and try drying it again. And finally, the nail in the coffin for this piece is that it's also pilling. I can't believe it's so terrible. It's pilling as well after I've worn this maybe twice and washed it twice. And let me tell you, the merino does not keep the like smell and the stink out of this piece of clothing either. So I feel like I had so many high expectations and dreams for this particular piece. And it was everything that I wanted sort of visually and aesthetically. But then as soon as it came to the practical side of things, it let me down so bad, so bad. And I will never make that mistake again. And I will probably never purchase anything from Witchery ever again either, because that left such a bad taste in my mouth. And so I think because there's a lot of new technology coming in now, it's not just cotton anymore, it's not just linen and silk. We're having these new synthetics and like man-made fibers. The technology with clothing is kind of coming into this new wave, and so it's making it a little bit harder to understand how a fabric is going to behave and whether it's going to wash well or not. And I think some items are they're just going to be a gamble for a little bit of a while. I'm still looking for the perfect white kind of semi-sheer long sleeved top. If you have any recommendations, please do let me know. All right, this is the last piece that I wanted to talk about, and this is this like oversized kind of shirt, dress, jacket hybrid kind of thing. And I bought this secondhand, and this particular item is the reason that I have put myself on a secondhand shopping ban for now, because it's made me realize how badly I need to actually try things on and then be able to return them if they don't work. I feel like I've actually been like losing money in terms of buying things, finding out that they don't work out for me. And the thing about secondhand shopping is that you can't send it back, you can't return it. It ends up being sort of like a fool's errand, trying to like stab in the dark and choose any little piece from here or from there that it may or it may not work for you. I just really liked the idea of how I thought this would fit on my body. Yeah, I feel like I had my Pinterest goggles on, and you know when you imagine yourself as this like tall, slim, elegant woman, and then you realize like actually I'm 5'3" and I'm shaped like a pear. Like I have hips, I have curves, and I have like my stumpy little legs, and like this is just not going to work out for me. I'm so sorry. So while I liked the idea of the piece, the reality of it sort of came crashing down around my ears, and poor little me was crying on the inside whenever I received this. I thought that corduroy was always cotton, but that's not the case. You can get cheaper corduroy in polyester, and this is 100% poly. The original seller hadn't posted the fabric content, and silly of me, I always ask for fabric content, but this time I was just so excited, so caught up and swept up in the moment that I was like, buy immediately. And then now I'm regretting it, because not only does it not suit me, but it's like, it's not even good quality, you know? It's not even like a cotton. That was foolish, Alana. You probably could have foreseen that if you had thought it through for more than 20 seconds. Going forward, I'll just be a little bit more self-aware about my emotional triggers when I'm shopping and what I actually want to get from the pieces that I'm shopping for. Anyway, those are all of my regret purchases for now, and honestly, I'm looking at them all as wins, because I have been learning a lot about what not to do going forward. So hopefully this can be helpful to some of you as well, if you're stumped about why pieces haven't been working out for you, or maybe what to look out for in the future while you're shopping as well. Yes, lessons learned, lessons learned. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel today, and I hope that if you loved it, you'll stick around, and I'll see you very shortly in my next one. Bye!